Welcome to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, the channel where secrets unravel, narratives deepen, and every whisper finds its echo. Before we begin tonight's extraordinary chronicle, tap subscribe, consider joining our community, and hit like so this story reaches every curious heart. Settle in, because what's surfaced over the last few days feels like the reveal of a movie you didn't know you were living in. The industry has been quaking with murmurs that won't die down, rumblings that began as simple chatter and have grown into the biggest shockwave of the season, drawing the gaze of millions to two faces they thought they knew, Erkan Meriç and Hazal Subaşı. They've always been magnetic in the public eye. Years ago, their names were intertwined on the set of Decoding, a series that cemented their chemistry in the hearts of viewers. It wasn't just the way they played their roles. It was the quiet language that seemed to flicker between them off camera, too. Now, the claims that refuse to fade suggest the pair took a monumental step months ago, a wedding kept under lock and key, a union so private that even some within their closest orbit were left unaware. What's being said behind closed doors is astonishing. According to voices who insist they know the truth, the ceremony happened in Istanbul, and it was so discreet you'd think it was designed to leave no trace. Only immediate family and a handful of trusted friends were invited. No paparazzi caught a shadow, no tabloids got a tip, and those in attendance reportedly kept their lips sealed as if they had signed a pact. It's the kind of secrecy usually associated with matters of state, not matters of the heart. Curiously, this veil of silence has only made the story glow brighter. Observers have begun to focus on every detail, and the first to draw attention was Hazal Subaşı herself. Typically poised and measured online, she has lately gone even quieter, minimal posts, captions that say just enough to be elegant but never enough to invite a debate, and interviews that glide right past the private without giving even a fragment away. Fans who read between the lines have started to interpret this shift as evidence, a hint that something transformed beneath the surface. Erkan Meriç has mirrored this reserve. Known for steering conversations toward his work rather than his personal life, he has leaned further into that careful distance. He appears to have adopted a philosophy of living more and saying less. Each snapshot, each unusual pause during an interview, each subtle choice in the way he presents himself is pulled apart by devoted followers who are desperate to decode a message he hasn't spoken aloud. But make no mistake. What makes this rumor enthralling isn't just the possibility of an event kept hidden. It's the idea of a love that circled back around. Insiders claim that after years of carving out separate paths, Erkan and Hazal found themselves in the same emotional room again, and the old language of connection returned with startling ease. The bond that began during long, exhausting days on the Decoding set didn't simply vanish, they say. It lingered in quiet corners, waiting for timing that felt grown and grounded. One person close to the situation worded it this way: they always protected each other, even in silence. They refused to let a relationship become fodder for a circus. If the wedding really happened, it wasn't for spectacle. It was for serenity. When whispers of this magnitude reach social media, the result is inevitable. Comments exploded. Some expressed disbelief, others joy. Many simply pleaded for confirmation. Phrases like "true love found its way back," "they never really let go," and "a secret ceremony, no way," popped up beneath every post associated with either of them. Whether true or not, the story has dominated Turkish celebrity discussions, shaping timelines, and fueling livestream debates late into the night. Before we ride the wave further, remember to show your support for Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you want us to keep bringing long-form stories with care and detail, consider tapping that join button. Your support keeps the lights on in this little corner of curiosity. Now, back to the vortex of rumor. Fresh claims say the event itself, if it occurred, was simple in a way that took your breath away. No grand spectacle. Just sincerity. A small room. Words chosen carefully, promises made without performance. Those who say they know describe a stillness. Two people speaking vows to each other as if there were no one else in the world. According to these accounts, the emotion in the room was palpable, a blend of relief and resolve, as though both had decided that love is best built when fame steps out of the doorway. Then there are the clues that fans have made their own. Recently, Erkan was spotted wearing a ring that didn't match his usual style. It wasn't flashy. It was the kind of piece that means more than it shows. Followers pounced on the detail, tying it to the secret wedding storyline without hesitation. Meanwhile, Hazal gave a restrained answer in a recent interview. She said, "Every season brings its truth, and the right person arrives when the hour finally agrees with the heart." The phrase has been played and replayed, examined as if it held a hidden code. Depending on who you ask, it's either a philosophical reflection or a delicate confirmation disguising itself as poetry. And then the timeline detective stepped in. For weeks now, both stars have shared photos from locations that, to an untrained eye, seemed unrelated. But fans noticed the patterns: similarly colored sunsets, matching textures of stone walls, a distinctive cafe chair that appeared in one shot and then another, captured from different angles. No one confirmed a connection, yet collages surfaced, side-by-side posts stitched together to imply a shared world. Some tabloids escalated the narrative. "They're not only together," they insisted, "but traveling abroad, perhaps savoring a post-ceremony escape far from the cameras that once chased them." Individually, each hint could be dismissed. A ring is a ring. A poetic line is just an elegant answer. Two photos with similar backgrounds could be coincidence, nothing more. But together, these pieces have formed a tapestry, a picture that seems to depict a chapter written in private ink. And for fans of Adini Sinkoi, the idea of this second act is emotionally charged. The electricity between their characters once fueled endless conversations, fan art, and speculative threads that ran for days. Many hoped the on-screen tenderness wasn't just good acting. When the pair drifted apart in real life, a segment of their audience felt like a door had closed on a story they wanted to keep reading. The possibility that destiny gave them another chance feels like an old melody returning after years of silence, humming a familiar tune beneath a new sky. Still, for all the noise, the two central figures have remained silent. No joint statement. No denial. No confirmatory photo staged to calm the frenzy. It's a choice that speaks volumes. Silence can mean many things: protectiveness, patience, the desire to ensure that what's being built isn't flattened by the weight of expectation. And so the public waits, fingers on screens, ready for even the smallest crumb of clarity. Will it come through a picture? A quiet interview pause that becomes an admission? A candid moment caught from afar? No one knows. If the whispers are grounded in truth, this would be the twist no one saw coming, the kind of development that makes even the most jaded observers stop and breathe. A love story paused, reflected upon, and resumed with new understanding. A union not designed for claps, but for calm. In an industry that often rewards spectacle, the idea that two people opted for intimacy over noise is, strangely, the most dramatic choice of all. There's another layer worth mentioning. People who've crossed paths with both stars over the last year describe an aura of steadiness, a gentler energy, as if both have stepped into a season that prioritizes purpose over performance. Erkan has spoken in general terms about focus and discipline. Hazal has hinted at boundaries, how choosing where to place your attention is the ultimate act of self-care. Put those sentiments together, and the outline of a private commitment starts to look plausible. Not proven, not guaranteed, but possible in a way that feels real. Meanwhile, the mapping continues. Fans have tracked wardrobe overlaps, familiar hotel lobbies glimpsed in mirrors, and captions posted within minutes of each other like synchronized beats. The narrative keeps rewriting itself in real time. Perhaps the ceremony took place in a waterfront mansion, one outlet whispers, another swears it happened in a small heritage venue tucked away in Istanbul's older quarters. One story swirls that a single violinist played as they exchanged vows, while another insists there was only the sound of their voices and the shuffle of family members leaning in to hear. None of it is verified, all of it is compelling, and together it creates a picture that feels cohesive even as it remains unconfirmed. For those who once watched Adini Sinkoi with devotion, this possibility is an echo of that era's affection. People recall the tenderness of certain scenes, the way a look became a conversation, the way silence carried meaning. They wanted to believe that the connection they witnessed wasn't built solely for cameras. And now, in this swirl of clues, they're given a chance to believe again. Maybe love doesn't always bow to timing. Maybe it leaves the door ajar and returns when both people are ready to walk through it without looking over their shoulders. And yet, the choice to remain quiet may be the clearest message of all. There are moments in life too delicate for public dissection. There are beginnings that only bloom when the light is soft and the crowd is elsewhere. Perhaps they're guarding something they don't want to see distorted into a headline. Perhaps they're still deciding how to hold it. Or perhaps, just perhaps, there is no secret to unveil, and what we're witnessing is simply the world's power to turn coincidences into myths. Either way, the fascination isn't fading. Every day brings a new angle, a new supposed hint, a new interpretation of a caption that would otherwise float quietly in a busy feed. If there's truth in the rumor, then we're witnessing one of the most surprising turns in celebrity romance in recent years, not sensational, not noisy, but steady and self-possessed. And if it isn't true, then what remains is a testament to how deeply audiences care about Erkan Meriç and Hazal Subaşı, how much their story, on and off screen, has meant to people who still see themselves in the arcs of characters and the possibilities of real life. Whatever the outcome, the anticipation is its own story now. Some hope for a softly lit photograph that says everything without saying a word. Some want an interview, measured, heartfelt, final. Others want nothing at all, believing that if there is love here, it should be allowed to exist in its own bubble without the relentless tug of public appetite. And perhaps that's the true heart of it. A longing to see two familiar faces choose each other with intention, whether or not the world is invited. Thank you for spending your time with Turkish Spotlight Secrets. Before you go, tell us what you think. Did Erkan Meriç and Hazal Subaşı quietly tie the knot? Should private lives remain private, or do fans deserve a window when a love story captures the public imagination? And which Turkish stars do you want us to explore next? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap join if you want more deep dives like this. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and keep your eyes on Turkish Spotlight Secrets for the stories that others only whisper about.